on Maximal Beings. It's Doc Mok here with MaximalBeing.com. And this week we're going to be delving into that fat fuel, the ketogenic diet. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button down below and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to read the full article from today's journal club, head on over to MaximalBeing.com/learn. So let's delve on into the ketogenic diet. So what are ketones? Ketones are substances in our body often derived from fatty acids, which are turned in the liver into sources of fuel. The most common examples of this are butyrate and acetone, which your body can freely use both in your muscles as well as your brain as sources of energy. But it's important to note that ketones include other things like ketosteroids, which include a lot of your hormones, namely testosterone, as well as fructose. Fructose is actually a carbohydrate, but this is considered a ketone due to the molecular structure. So the definition may not be quite the same as what you're used to. Another point I'd like to demonstrate to you is that it's not a new diet. Actually, there are reports of using ketosis as far back as the time of Hippocrates. And then this has continued onwards to the 1920s for treatment of epilepsy. Went away until 1994, probably due to the invention of anti-epileptic medications, and returned again in 1994 in a Dateline special with Meryl Streep. After that, scientists began to wonder, can we utilize the ketogenic diet to access our own fat stores? And in fact, the research does support this. But some problems within the research are sustainability issues, and we're going to go through where you can go wrong with the ketogenic diet. How do we properly keto? Well, it takes precision, it takes science, and it takes math. And if you're not up for that, well, then perhaps ketogenic diet is not for you. A lot of people don't have success because they're not honing in on those hidden carbohydrates that are present in so many packaged foods. And then they also tend to adopt something called dirty keto, where they're gravitating more towards processed foods and saturated fats. Just going into that a little bit more, so most of your fats should consist of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. Monounsaturated fats tend to derive from olive oil and nuts and avocados, so vegetable sources. And polyunsaturated is from wild-caught fish as well as other vegetable oils. Most of your fats should be from such sources. You should include some saturated fats. That tends to be animal or dairy products, but people go a little bit overboard on this. And there is evidence to suggest the possibility of atherogenesis or plaques inside of your vessels with a high saturated fat intake, not from the fat itself, but more from the inflammatory response. So have some, but don't overdo it on the saturated fats. And definitely stay away from the other fat category, which is trans fats. Trans fats are the bad things that are found in processed food, fried garbage. Stay away from dirty keto. You should have some micronutrition found in vegetables, which are essentially free carbohydrates. And this will help you to fuel your workouts and fuel your cellular processes. The next step that I recommend is testing. So you can get keto test strips on anything like Amazon. They're very inexpensive. This helps you to hone in on whether you are truly in a ketogenic process or not. You get in ketosis with about 2 to 4 days of the ketogenic diet. It takes time to flush out your glycogen stores, and also with about 12 hours of fasting, as we discussed in our intermittent fasting article. The next thing, and this is a big stumbling block for a lot of people, is the precision aspect. You need to calculate macronutrition, you need to weigh things, you need to utilize math. To determine your macronutrition, we recommend downloading the MyFitnessPal app, and you can head over to our website, type in macro in the search bar, and you'll arrive at our articles describing the process. You're going to use about 50 grams of carbohydrates as your standard carb intake. Keep in mind that protein and carbohydrates are roughly 4 kilocalories or calories per gram. So you're generating about 4 calories of energy per gram of that food. The next thing you're going to do is standardize your protein intake. That's roughly about 1 gram of protein per day per pound. And again, your calories are going to be 4 kilocalories per gram. So do the math. And what you're left with are the number of calories that you need in every day of fat. Fat calories are roughly considered to generate about 9 kilocalories per gram. And so you're going to divide that number that you're left with by 9, and that's the number of fat calories that you should get in a day. You really do want to track this. You want to stay precise. You want to understand what you're getting in your body and look at labels and nutrition and input the data, because carbs hide a lot of places in our diet. And a lot of people will go wrong because they'll have hidden carbohydrates found within their food. So track, use precision, and use the science to your advantage, and you'll be on the way to keto success. Can you have benefit with weight loss? The research does suggest, both in randomized controlled trials and systematic reviews, high quality research, that in fact it does work, usually in combination with intermittent fasting strategies and also compared to low calorie restrictive strategies. It does work for training. It's been studied for gymnastics training, resistance training, and things like CrossFit or high intensity interval training exercises, and you can actually do well with a ketogenic diet without much suffering in terms of your progress. You will see a slight delay as you're transitioning off of carbohydrates, but ultimately in all of these studies, people did pick up and were equivalent to the people that are still eating carbohydrates. So I hope that you enjoyed this video outlining the ketogenic diet. Hopefully you've understood a little bit about what a ketone is, how your body can utilize it, the evidence and historical aspects behind this newly popularized but not new form of eating. And until next time, Maximal Beings, this is Doc Mok, and I'm here on your pathway to wellness.